Welcome back to Health Reversion, your #1 channel for raw, unbiased education on physical and mental health. In recent times, you may have heard about some headlines and things in the news about trans fats. So today we're going to dive a bit deeper into that to see what exactly all the fuss is about. Trans fats are simply a form of unsaturated fats. Now there's a natural form and a very unnatural form. The natural forms of trans fats are found in meat and dairy products. Up to 6% of the total fat in dairy products are natural trans fats, and up to around 9% in some of the red meats such as beef and lamb. Consumption of these natural trans fatty acids, so the ones found naturally in animal products, aren't adversely affecting your health. Please do your own research, obviously, but I wasn't able to find anything. In fact, all I could find was some studies and some research that suggested that they are actually beneficial for your health. But these are the natural trans fatty acids found in animal products. However, there are another type of trans fats, and that's what we're going to focus on today. They've been termed Frankenstein foods. They've been termed a danger to heart attacks and risks of stroke and all kinds of things, and there is validity behind that. So let's see why that is. Firstly, a vegetable oil is used. Now, if you haven't seen my episode on vegetable oils, check that out first and then come back and carry on with this one. So a vegetable oil is used, so from the outset, the fundamental oil that's being used is something that is questionable for our health to begin with. This vegetable oil is then heated to very, very high temperatures. A heavy metal catalyst such as nickel is then used in some sort of very strange process that then allows hydrogen to be injected into the vegetable oil so that the food industry can make food-like products such as margarine become solid. So without the injection of the hydrogen, the margarine is just going to be this liquid in the container, and that's not good for the food industry, and that's not good for shelf life. That doesn't serve the profits of the food industry. So inject the hydrogen in, and then that brings it to a nice solid paste that you can then take off and put on your toast, if you dare. To be clear, the main reason that these trans fats are used is to ensure a longer shelf life, and also that the original vegetable oil is now solid at room temperature, so it can be sold and used again as a food-like product. So they're the two main reasons. There's no regard for anybody's health. That's not what the food industry is about. The food industry is about seeking the lowest costs, using the lowest cost ingredients so that they can make more of this stuff. But the good news is that you have this stuff to begin with, and you can vote with your dollar. As mentioned in my episode on omega-6 and omega-3 fats, there was a section there that explained that these omega-3s and omega-6s compete for assimilation in the body. So if you're getting lots of omega-3, great, that could be perceived as good. If you're getting lots of omega-6, that could lead to inflammation and other adverse health effects. Now, it's exactly the same with the trans fats. If you're consuming the trans fats, then they also step up to the plate, put their hand up and say, hey, I want to be integrated into this body. Where are you going to put me? How am I going to be assimilated? And unfortunately, that then puts the omega-3s and the omega-6s and the omega-9s all into competition. And what is most interesting is that our body doesn't recognize these trans fats. Like, after all, where in nature is oils heated to high temperatures, heavy metals taken, and injections of hydrogen taking place? I'm not sure, but if you do find out where that's happening, please let me know. So a really important point there, if I haven't made it clear, is that the trans fats come into your body, the body does not have the enzymes to process it, and then they can confuse the body, infiltrate the cell membranes, accumulate there, and then start causing health issues. Another point to keep in mind is that, again, the food industry, with their ties to government and health authorities, if you want to call them that, they've got a little loophole with regards to including trans fats in their products. So yes, there was years ago a big crackdown on labeling, and manufacturers had to label if the food contained trans fats, but there's a loophole there. The loophole is, as long as there is less than 0.5 gram of trans fats in the serving size, so not the total package, in the serving size, then the actual product can be labeled as containing no trans fats. So it might have big zeros there next to the trans fats, and you're thinking, oh great, this product doesn't have trans fats. But really, what the food industry has done is reduced down the serving size. So you've got this candy or particular processed chocolate bar or particular ice cream or whatever it happens to be that's got super duper cookie, rainbow flavor or whatever it is, and they've reduced the serving size down to something that you wouldn't just eat in one sitting. It is likely that you probably have 2, 3, 4, maybe even 10 of these servings in any reasonable time that you would sit down to consume these foods, particularly in the case of some of the flavored ice creams. So that's how they get around it. So make no mistake, there are still trans fats contained in a lot of the common processed foods. So what's the suggestion today? It's very simple. For a 1, 2, 3 or even 4 week period, be really vigilant about the processed foods that you're eating. Now, some of you might not have processed food at all. You might be on just pure clean foods, and that's great. But, every now and then we like to indulge. We might go out, we might get some things from the supermarket, some comfort foods, etc. We've just got to be realistic. We do consume these things. If we are consuming these things, there are plenty of manufacturers out there doing the right thing. They may not taste as good as some of the big popular brands, but have a look at the ingredients list. Just look for anything hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated. That's going to be the key for the trans fats. But if you want to go a step further, I'd also just steer clear of any vegetable oils being used in these particular processed foods, just so you can have a really good idea that, the omega-6s, the trans fats, you're reducing them down to as low as possible, so that the omega-3s, the omega-9s and the saturated fat can be integrated by your body without having to compete with such high levels of the fats that are going to cause adverse impacts to your health. If in doubt, you can always revert back to natural sources such as animal products. You could look at avocado, olive oil, coconut oil. These are going to be safe options, provided that they are in their natural state. That should just about do us for today. If you've got any input that you can give about trans fats and your experience with them, please put them in the comments down below. If you've got nothing from this video, give it a thumbs down. If you've got something from this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing or subscribing if you haven't done so already. In the meantime, keep well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.